Speaking of things that we're not necessarily 100% in on, I get the next team, and we're gonna have like a whole segment this fall called Hammer the Under. There's just certain teams right now that I'm willing to hammer the under on. The New York Jets are one of them, and to me, the biggest question on the Jets is all about how are they going to handle the drama. And I say that, Frank, because everything that happens with the Jets results in drama, which includes the news we get today that Aaron Rodgers not at minicamp. And look, nobody right now as we speak, I don't know the reason why he's not at minicamp, but here's the bigger question to me. It's not just about Aaron Rodgers not being there. It's about the questions that now everybody has to answer. Robert Saleh is going to have to answer questions about it. If there's a couple of games where the offense struggles, the defense is again going to have to answer questions about it. When's the last time the Jets as an organization weren't in chaos? And when's the last time the Jets as an organization handled chaos particularly well? I don't believe that Aaron Rodgers is the type of quarterback that's going to stop outside noise from getting inside the building. And if that's the case, I got to trust the organization to handle that. I have no reason to trust it. And to me, that's the biggest question.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I mean, the line you said there that kind of resonated was, when's the last time the Jets dealt with chaos well? And it's one of those franchises, and it's part of that market and part of that fan base that there's just always something, right? But I think this offseason has been a little telling that way, in that there's been Rodgers headlines after Rodgers, but that's just Aaron Rodgers and who he is, and he draws his attention to himself. I also, like, we do have to talk about, is he the same guy on the field? I mean, he's going to be 41 in December. He's coming off Achilles injury, which we just ignore because this nonsense that he was going to return late in the season. We think that he's healed and he's totally fine. Oh, he almost played in December. He wasn't going to play in December. We don't know what he's like right now in his 40s coming off this Achilles. So as I've talked about the Jets, I'm high on the Jets. I really like them. I like their talent. I think Aaron Rodgers can be good enough to guide the ship to the playoffs, to an AFC East championship, to a playoff win, Fitz. And I'll trust that the talent is going to overcome all this. And when you win, a lot of these back page headlines go away. But you're right. They have a tough start to the season. There are a lot of primetime games. If they start losing, this thing could really get off the rails quickly, because you know how it is with the Jets, with the chaos there. I do agree. The one thing I worry about with my love of the Jets and being high on them going into the season is that early on, all the headlines are about anything but football. And a lot of those will involve Aaron Rodgers. There's just no way around that.
Yeah, that's like such a weird inevitability. And I don't know, man, like I want to stress here, I don't care. So one guy I toured with for years, massive conspiracy theorist, right? And so every time we would get on the bus, like we're getting on the tour bus, we're all sitting in the front lounge of the bus. And like when you live on a tour bus, your bus call is usually like 11 o'clock midnight, right? And so you stay up for a couple hours and you go to bed, you wake up, your bus is in whatever city you're playing the next show. And so you got a couple hours while you're sitting there. And every single time we would all meet at the bus, we'd get on the bus, I'd sit up on the front lounge of the bus. He would start some, like, we never walked on the moon, we never landed on the moon, 9/11 conspiracies, all these things. And I used to say, and I'll say now today, I don't care about conspiracy theories at all, because frankly, if we didn't land on the moon, it doesn't change my Tuesday. My Tuesday is going to be the same. So like, if Aaron Rodgers wants to be super into these weird theories, I don't care. Like, I am happy to be a sheep. I know a lot about music and a lot about sports. Those are the two things that I'm really passionate about. If it's outside of that, I don't really give a damn about it. So I don't care if Aaron Rodgers wants to run for vice president, like if he wants to be put on the ballot. I don't care if Aaron Rodgers feels some kind of way about vaccines. I don't care about any of the way Aaron Rodgers feels about government conspiracies and all the things. I don't give a damn about any of that. I just think it's fair to say, hey, you got an old dude coming off of a bad injury that's going to have to play quarterback in a media market that's absolutely unforgiving, that also doesn't really know how to shut out the noise that comes around him, and he may be capable of dealing with that. But is the rest of the roster? Like, Frank might be able to, like, Frank might go out in public and get himself arrested and be able to answer 5,000 questions about it. That's fine. But if I got to start answering questions about Frank, that might stress me out, right? So, like, it's just a human element of what happens to the Jets locker room here. To me, it's real.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'll still say that the Jets talent overcomes all this. We're at different sides of this one, though, and it'll be interesting to see how this Jets season plays out. One way or another, they're probably the most fascinating team in the NFL this year.